Welcome back, everybody. Friday morning edition of Hot Mic off and rolling. Much more on the FCS semifinals coming up later on in the show. That's not the only big sporting event going on. We got a great men's basketball game in town tonight. We previewed it on Tuesday. We had Tim Bricksrosser join us as MSUM will welcome in unbeaten Minot State. You got two top 12 ranked teams in Division II men's basketball facing each other. So if you're looking for something to do, get over to Nemzik tonight because it could be a heck of an atmosphere. And actually on their way to Moorhead right now in the Minot State men as head coach Matt Murken joins us from the bus. Always our favorite stop to do this. As he told me, somewhere you're on Highway 2, is that correct?
Yep, heading east on Highway 2.
There we go. It's great to see you, bud. Congrats on a great start. I have to imagine this is exactly what you thought how this basketball season would play out, right?
Well, if I said that, I'd be lying. We had a lot of turnover from last year. Had a great team last year. Had a lot of guys leave. Really liked our team coming in, and really liked the squad we put together. But anytime you go on a 13-game win streak to start the year, you're going to be really happy. And we've been playing. Just a lot of guys have stepped into new roles and really been playing great. We've got a lot of returning guys that have stepped up and really developed their game, taken the next step, and some new guys that have helped us out quite a bit too. So it's been a fun ride so far this early season.
I know you got guys back, but you also had to reshape the roster. How difficult was that in preseason to determine, okay, this is what we can do out there on the floor?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun early. We had just throwing out all kinds of different lineups even early in the practice, and we're getting excited as coaches saying, man, we got a lot of guys that can do some different things here. I think it's going to give us some versatility where we can go bigger or smaller or play faster or slower. And that's kind of been one of the things early that's helped us be successful is we've won games in a lot of different ways. Some of them high scoring, some of them a little more low scoring, where it's been grinding them out a little bit. But I think that's a sign of a good team. You can win in a few different ways, and it doesn't have to be exactly the way you want it to be every night. You can still find a way to win.
You lucky son of a gun! You got a trip to Puerto Rico. Describe that. How did that come about?
Yeah. It was the way the Division II calendar falls this year. The way we start is it's not a hard and fast date. It's always the second Friday in November, which is kind of weird. I don't really like it, to be honest. But with the first being the Friday was the first this year, so you kind of have those extra 6 days of scheduling compared to what we'll have next year. So every 3 years you can get 3 additional games, either in Hawaii or Puerto Rico or Alaska. And we've been to Puerto Rico now 3 times with Minot State. We try to do it once if somebody's, if you have somebody for a 4-year career, we like them to make a big trip once. And it was really good. It's good for team building. It's go do some historical stuff there, some educational stuff, go to the old town, go to some of the castles, and guys just kind of hang out. The most interesting thing about that is we're playing all our games at 10 a.m. local time tip-off, so we're back to the hotel by noon, and then they kind of have some free time. And there's a team from Ohio down there in the same event. Walked the beach one day, and our guys were playing 7-on-7 football against another team out there. So just stuff like that. It's great for team building and kind of help kick us off in a good way. And I think it helped us develop our team chemistry a little bit early there too.
How much are you looking forward to this matchup tonight? You know how good the Dragons are. Heck, you had them a chance last year both times when you faced them to really gauge how good your team is playing a team like this tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Road test, of course, always tough anywhere, especially the NSIC. And going to NEMSEC's never easy. I mean, they just do such a great job there. Their guys get better every year. They lose some key players too, and some of their guys have stepped up. And they have some young guys, some new guys playing well as well for them. So just going to be a real battle. We had 2 wild games with them last year, and we've really had in the last 3 or 4 years we've had some real classics against the Dragons, and definitely Coach Spence and Coach Tim, they do a great job down there, and they're always ready to roll. They're always good defensively, always battle you on the glass. So it's going to be a real battle tonight.
The Wysocki brothers, we have a battle royale coming up tonight. Tell me about this matchup, and obviously what Tim's guys doing as a true freshman, playing 30 some odd minutes a game right now.
Yeah, Sean's had a great freshman year for them, and been a big key for them. And Jaden on our team has been one of those guys who's had a little different path. He's been, one of those. We've had a few guys in our program that are a little rare in college basketball, and those developmental guys that maybe come in and don't play a ton their first year or even their second year. And really, we've got 3 guys in our rotation that are third-year guys from that recruiting class that have just all stepped their game up. And Jaden's one of those guys where, redshirted, played a little bit last year as a redshirt freshman, and now it really helps us, and just a great length and athleticism on the wing for us. And there's been a few our guys before practice all week. I'll hear them talking, and then they're talking about, hey, we gotta run a play so Jaden can go on his brother, or we gotta make sure they're matched up. And so they're having a good time with it. I know they're aware of it, and I'm sure Sean's doing the same thing down in Moorhead. It'll be a nice night for their family, and part of the reason we came down today is so we could just we'll get into our hotel this afternoon, and we'll stay in Moorhead tonight.
Okay,
that'll give their family a chance to go out tonight after the game and spend an hour or 2 together.
nice.
That's a special thing. It doesn't happen all that much in college basketball, so it's to give them a little more chance to hang out. That's the least we can do for that family. And those two young men have put a lot of work into it. Both having great seasons.
That's awesome. That's a neat backstory for the game tonight. You have a Australian bruiser in the middle. Give us the lowdown on how you got a guy from Australia to Minot, North Dakota.
Yeah. Caleb's got a great story. His family actually, his dad's from Iowa, and his mom's from Australia. They met at a small college in Iowa, and got married and lived in California. Caleb was born in California. He has dual citizenship, and then was over in Western Australia. They living on a farm over there. They had 2,000 chickens out on a farm, free range chickens, and he plays like he's a big, strong farm kid. But there's a coach over there that I'm friends with that kind of got in touch with me and said, hey, we got a big kid that's really raw, but he'll do whatever you tell him. He'll work at it. He'll get better. He hasn't played much basketball, but man, does he love the game, and he's really works at it. You couldn't ask for a better person and work ethic and that sort of thing. So he's in that same recruiting class with Jaden Wysocki, and came over, and we're going to redshirt him his freshman year, and then we had a few injuries and didn't play our first 3 or 4 games, and then we had to play him because of a couple of injuries, and he had 10 points and 9 rebounds out in Pueblo, Colorado, against Colorado State, University of Pueblo. And ironically, that Minnesota State Moorhead was at that same tournament, and they're sitting there behind our bench. They're playing the next game, thinking, "Who the heck is this guy? He about has a double-double." So they kind of saw his coming out party that year, and he's just continued to get better and better for us. And man, just having a great season, averaging a double-double, leading the SIC in rebounding, and just a force inside. But just more importantly, just a really fun young man to coach, like all our guys. Gives it a great effort every day.
You're coming off, we talked last year, your 20-win season. You've been down to the Pentagon. You're out to a great start. What's the next step, Matt, in your mind? Say, okay, we got to make it to the Final Four down in Sioux Falls or in the championship. How do you do that, I guess, for this season?
Yeah, just trying to keep we've coming to Minot State when we made the jump into the NSIC was, our first year in the NSIC was my first year at Minot State. Trying to build a program really somewhat from scratch, I guess. And, we've had a lot of firsts since we've been here, and continue to get better and better. But we need to get down there and win a few more games, and that's tough to say.
No doubt.
You don't want to judge your season based on the last game. Everybody has a last game that's a loss, except for one team. But I think just right now, saying that it's that coach talk that everybody talks about. But man, we got such a big game tonight, and in Hartman tomorrow over in Aberdeen, and we got to take care of tonight first and just keep getting better and stay focused on the task at hand. And that's kind of the secret sauce, if you will, for this year. It's just our guys don't know any better, man. We've had a good weekend. We come back to Minot State on Monday morning at 2:00 in the afternoon. We're getting after it in the practice gym, and guys are going at it. And teams are random every day, and guys are just competing. And I just hope we're a lot better. I hope we play great tonight, but I hope we're a lot better in February and make a run at things and get a few late season wins, because we've been on the verge of that the last few years. And tonight's tonight, man. I don't look too far ahead, but man, it'd be fun to make a run and just keep this thing going.
Well, I thought of you as I'm watching Mankato win the whole thing. You say, okay, well, in our league, you already know how good it is, but reinforcing, especially, I don't know if how much does that help recruiting for you? Say, hey, come to our league. This is the best league in Division II. You're going to play, the national champions.
Yeah, we got to that point last year. And we had a great game, but we played really well against them last year.
Yeah.
Our plays got after them pretty good, and now we're sitting there thinking, make sure our like we were having shoot around or guys were in the gym shooting, just kind of getting some extra shots up. And I went up to a couple guys. I'm like, we cheering for them or against them tonight? We're like, coach, we got to cheer for them. You know that. Like we want our league to win the whole thing. But I think that's pretty well known. And most of our recruiting footprint is a lot of this area, the Upper Midwest, anyway. And they know how good everybody is, and you're going to be tested. That's for sure. Any given night. Last night one of the top teams in our league lost to a team that hadn't won yet. I don't think that bottom teams. I don't think they're bad. The team that beat them. So
Yeah.
It's a challenge every night. Man, you got 18 more league games. It's going to be a grinder. I can tell you that. There's going to be some surprises every Friday, Saturday night. That's for sure.
I don't know if I've asked you this, and I apologize if I have. With Jamestown coming in, and obviously your history there, with that becoming official next season, how does that change the makeup of recruiting in North Dakota for you, knowing full well what Jamestown has to offer?
Yeah, it's a great spot. They've done a lot of things to improve over the last decade, but they've got a really supportive administration down there, and a lot of the people that were there when I was fortunate enough to coach there, kind of running the show down there now, and they've done a good job to make the jump, and Casey's doing a great job down there right now. They ended up 4-3 against our league, maybe, and made a pretty good game with them up at our place. But it's sure nice for us to have another close trip. I'll tell you that, another trip where we can leave day up and get back at a decent time. And I'm kind of excited to get the more balanced schedule back and get the north and south back, and kind of just still, a little bit more. Saves us a little travel time. Jamestown's a lot closer to Minot than Fayette, Iowa is. I'll tell you that. But, they're going to be a challenge, and I'm sure they're going to want to get the best in-state kids too, just like we do. We feel like we signed 3 of the best this year in the 2025 class, and kind of adds one more D2 team that we've got to compete with. And I'm sure they'll be out and about in people's gym too, just like our coaching staff is, and make that a little bit more competitive recruiting as well. And, but I'm sure glad to add them to the league. I think it'll be a good thing, and get back to an even number, and get back to those north-south divisions. I think it'll be good in the long run.
I'm obligated to ask you this before you go, because you texted me in the middle of the baseball playoffs. Why can't the Cardinals ever get good players like Lane Thomas, who, by the way, plays for the Guardians and was pretty darn good? And then Nolan Arenado blocks a trade to the. What's going on with your team? What's going on with the Cardinals?
Don't get me started on that. It's like, if Arenado leaves, he's probably going to be MVP of the league. There's this history. That's more the young guys. The young outfielders leave, and they're the NLCS or NLCS MVP the next year after they leave the Cardinals. I don't know what's going on with player development there, but they're in a bad stretch a little bit. So,
especially in that division, the Brewers and the Cubs. Come on, man, you can't be behind those guys.
And don't get me started. It's basketball. So let's talk basketball. Let's talk basketball season. Don't worry about that. But I think they said they're in a reset now. Is that what they?
Yeah. It's not a rebuild, a reset.
Not a rebuild,
hey,
whatever that means. I know it's not good if you're for the team you're cheering for.
Like I told you, the Mets were supposed to be good last year. They almost made it to the World Series. So there you go. You never know.
Yeah, they got hot.
So
get hot at the right time. That's a big thing.
Exactly right. It's great to see you, bud. Safe travels to Morat. Good luck tonight. Have a great holiday, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Awesome. Always great to have you. Thanks for having me on.
There he goes. Matt Murken, Minot State men's basketball head coach. Beavers and the Dragons coming up tonight over at Nemzik. Part of a double dip there. Again, you got 2 of the top 12 ranked teams in Division II men's basketball facing each other tonight. Minot State is a perfect 13-0. Dragons are rolling. That'll be a dynamite game. Looking forward to seeing that one come out tonight. Again, what else you got going on? The Bison will play tomorrow. You got an open Friday. Go check it out. We come back. I got a new public enemy number 1. His name is Ken Jennings. We'll explain why when Hot Mike returns on this Friday morning, right after this.